Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the second upper qualifier, second of three. It was a bit of a surprise that iSarcasm ended up not accepting his slot, but that paves the way for yet another contender. So, this match between TopRamen's Terran and GeneralAnakin's Protoss will be casted by yours truly, as well as Neblime. How are you, sir?
Not bad, not bad. I had a very productive morning, actually.
Oh, nice. There you go. Yeah, we were able to cast the previous series, and we're doing the same thing here with this set, all in the same day. Let's see if we can bang it out in a timely manner, shall we? Obviously, we did talk a little bit about this before we started the recording, but GeneralAnakin, although he is the higher seed and has had the ability to ban 2 maps as a result, I think TopRamen is actually favored in this matchup. He's played a lot of versus Protoss, versus Hepsea. I think maybe a little bit of Hamster, and definitely Ecalypso, who unfortunately wasn't able to make it into the Gauntlet this time around, but I'm sure we'll be seeing more of him in the future. GeneralAnakin, meanwhile, hasn't really played that much versus Terran, except for, obviously, the Beaver. But they have very different playstyles, so I'm interested in what you think about this.
Look, I got to frame this right, because this gives you a hint of how I'm predicting the match. The honorable Protoss and their ancient ways are under threat by these Terrans who just don't care. They don't give a shit about what they're doing. They're using nukes on the battlefield. Are they crazy?
Okay.
So can GeneralAnakin hold out with the old ways against this up-and-comer, this upstart human?
Okay.
I think is what we're going to see here, because they have the power. They have the vigor of youth.
All right.
Well, TopRamen's not actually that young, but
Well, we'll see. I don't know who's young and who's not in this particular set, but they are both ready, that's for sure. And I even added an extra F for fun. Or wait, no, the first is fun already. Good luck, have fun, fuckers. GeneralAnakin in the bottom left. TopRamen in the top right. Axiom, of course, the map start. TopRamen selecting that, so trying to curry some more favor with you, Neblime.
Yeah, definitely. Look, man, Axiom is the best map, so I'm glad we're starting here. And we saw the ban of Derelict. And wait, who picked it in the end? Let me see. You did send it to me.
Yes, that's right. So GeneralAnakin banned Derelict because he said hashtag bring back the Ridge. It will be returning for battlements, of course.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad.
And then obviously TopRamen was the one to ban the next map, which you can tell me right now.
Which is Fata Morgana.
That's right.
Which is interesting. I think you don't want Protoss to be able to be too aggressive, but I think the narrow locations do favor Terran sometimes, although versus Protoss is difficult. But then Purgatory banned by GeneralAnakin. Interesting choice there. Because it has a lot of ramps and stuff. But I would have thought it'd be good for what we saw of GeneralAnakin's playstyle before, where he's still just camping around with a big army.
Well, interestingly, here we have the first gate, and this is not the same SimCity that we saw before, but if you remember, he did like a pylon, and then like the gate as far away as possible. He lined up 3 gates and just waypointed Legionnaires out like nothing. And it is going to be that quarry first, right? So.
Yeah, we haven't seen that much of TopRamen on cast. We did do the Benno vs TopRamen games though, and he looked pretty powerful there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he did go for some Goliaths versus Protoss, did he not?
Yes, the first game was Bio, and then the second game was the more conventional sort of mech play that we've seen out of people.
And that was on Axiom, wasn't it? We saw the Architects and the Cantors versus the...
Yes,
Are you sure he didn't make Goliaths? Yeah, okay.
No, that was the second map, which I'm actually blanking on it. It was one of our many desert maps, though, so...
Oh, okay, probably Derelict, I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
Actually, if I recall, I think it was actually Fata Morgana. But yeah, okay. Huracan first.
Interesting.
Not going to be able to come across and do anything here. I think there's not time for that, but interesting choice, yeah.
It won't be Legionnaires after all. It'll be a first Drakodin coming out here, so we do have some kind of plan for GeneralAnakin.
I like Drakodin versus Terran.
Dude, it's mass
Huracan.
I think he's worried about a Legionnaire push, dude. I think that's what he's thinking. He's like, okay, I know what GeneralAnakin's about. I've studied his VODs. I've watched him play. And here's what I'm seeing right now is we're seeing, he likes the Legionnaires. So
I do think it's actually more related to his games with Shambler, because Shambler's just like 4-gate all-inning him every game.
Yes,
with,
okay.
Legionnaires and Zealots. So, and he didn't quite have the sort of positioning to deal with it, so I think he's just saying, oh, no, I can't die to that, let me make the Huracans. But they're not going to be very good against Drakons. Of course, if they catch them, they're very good, but they can't catch them very easily.
Well, what could work out for him is if he just camps on this ramp. What are you going to do with the Drakons, right? You have to go up there in order to do it, and there's no melee coming for GeneralAnakin. So he's going to amass 4 Drakons and a 3rd gate, but his first one is dark here. I'm sure that'll be rectified soon, but... oh, no, it's an embassy. Okay.
Okay.
No, that makes sense. He's going to be behind in workers for a brief period of time since his quarry is up. His scribe did not get in to scout that, But
you know, it's going to be quite hard to afford a Nexus with 3-gate production. So I wonder if he's going to get artisans, and this map is good for it, set up for it, because you know BDB loves his neutral stuff on the map. So
oh yes,
he's got that refinery there, whatever it's called. So what is it?
Reservoir. Yeah.
Thanks.
There it is.
Yeah. You know, Reservoir seems more like a Protoss name, to be honest. I'm surprised. I mean, Aquif is fine, but anyway. This is actually quite a bit of bio. If he's going to go to Stockade production now, he's probably going to be getting a treasury behind this, but I think he should be able to at least push back Dragons to establish that.
Yep. And well, it's weird that GeneralAnakin isn't moving forward, because one of the strengths that he showed in the 3 Crow series in particular is that he was able to micro really well with the early game. It's something that I didn't see him get tested on when he was doing his crazy Legionnaire pushes and 3-gate all-ins and stuff versus Zerg. You know, that's how he established himself bright and early here. TopRamen finding it a little bit difficult to get the Mason out of the base.
I definitely agree his micro is really strong, but I would also say his weakness was just staying in his base. So
yes,
unfortunately, those two complementary weaknesses, and weakness and strength rather, but he is coming across now. And, you know, okay, that is a lot of Hurricanes, but if you just kite well, I don't think this biome can really fight. He's going to need an anchor, and it's really hard to stop Dracons with a single anchor.
Well, the Mason will see that the Dracodons are on their way as the treasury comes on down. It's Mass Maverick with 3 clerics for support. They can be singled out by the Dracodon count. Yeah, we could see it really is going to come down to micro. I feel like a nice little pre-stim here will work wonders. He can actually just charge directly on it. He is going to go for it. Needs to get out of his own way, though. Those Mavericks are not going to be able to ambush, but this cliff advantage is going to help out massively. One Dracodon already going down. He's picked off all of the front line, but now he's standing tall right here.
This is the problem you're going to have. You can do damage, but it's hard to be efficient enough. But as you say, the ramp going to be huge there.
Yep.
Yeah, Anakin does need to just go around. They're losing 2 Dracodons so far. It's actually quite good for Terran, I think. But now what are you going to do? You're on flat ground. Dracodons vs Mavericks. Not a very fun matchup. He's just going to run up the ramp. He's going to give up treasury? No, he's moving back.
Well, it finishes anyway, so he can lift it if he needs to, but of course he doesn't want to. He doesn't know whether or not GeneralAnakin is continuing the push. Because right now, as of right now, it's just the same Dracodons he moved out with, right? So for all TopRamen knows, and the liftoff does come out, he's thinking about evacuating, throwing down the anchor. All TopRamen knows, there's no... there's like a Nexus behind this, and it's just the 6 Dracodons. But now he's going to start to put the pieces together. That's way more Dracodons than he had before. I'm going to dive forward with my Mavericks, see if I can get a little bit of a pick here, but it doesn't end up fomenting. What do we have behind this? Another Stockade, 2 Cyprians on the way to staff the anchor. That'll stave them off for a brief period of time, but there's definitely trouble here.
Yeah, I don't know if Ramen respects how close he is to dying here. Because if he goes down the ramp and loses like 4 or 5 of those Mavericks, I think Anakin can just A-move. Even as it stands, I think Anakin should probably be trying this. The Cyprians will help a lot, as you say. In the Anchor, they have the range to really help against the Dragons, but this is not a good idea. He can crush that bio and then end the game if he's not careful. Like, he retreats to the Anchor, he realizes he's kind of screwed here.
Yeah.
He does have a lot in the bank. Like you said, what else is coming? We've just got 3 Stockades. They're not even really working. What is Ramen's plan here?
He's thinking about it, right? And this is a situation where if you can put him in, he's not that practiced. He's still a little bit new. You put him into an uncomfortable spot that he's never been in before. He might not necessarily know what the play is. A Fulcrum coming down, but I feel like that needed to happen yesterday. We've got 14 Dracodons, a 15th one on the way. Behind this, there is, in fact, a Nexus. The worker production is very lacking for GeneralAnakin, but it might not matter, right?
Yeah, well, eventually he'll have that next up. He can make 3 at once. Even if he only makes it like a third of the time, he'll be making still 1 at a time, I guess. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ramen could hold this ramp for now, but look, he's going to get whittled down.
Some of his units, I think, were on a right-click instead of a hold position. Yeah, and that was a little bit awkward.
That anchor's empty, isn't it?
No, it's got Mavericks.
If you put the Cyprians in there, it would shut this stuff down a lot better. I mean, as we saw in the last cast, the Covenant's pretty good with the Savants actually can fight pretty toe-to-toe with Dracodons. He's sending the treasury out again. Again, I don't think he really respects how much danger he's in.
Yeah. Well, he wants to see if he can maybe push out. He does feel a little bit of pressure. The Cyprian's now being targeted out. The treasury is going to lift off after landing, and I think it'll just end up getting bopped. I mean, a couple Dracodons did go down. It was 3 or 4 Dracodons going down there, so it wasn't nothing, but he didn't keep the Cyprians alive. He is banking up some more. A Palladium is on the way. Maybe sharking around thinking if he can pop that treasury. Only down to 11.
There's sort of enough Cyprians out that they can actually fight this, almost. Yeah. I mean, they do die very fast, that's the problem. He needs to send that treasury back to repair, man. He's going to lose it in the second.
He's got a couple on there, thankfully. He just tasked him on, yeah.
Okay, Phalanx will help. Phalanx will push this back finally, but, as you said, GeneralAnakin had time to establish his expansion here. Another ministry coming up. Looks like he's going to try and get a 3rd as well.
It's going to be a storm drop. That's an interesting choice.
Huge. He's had this much time to build up on one base. So he's got 45 Masons in that main.
Yeah.
Oh, look at them. Look
Strip mining this base, dude. He's getting rid of it all. Yeah, that Ministry coming down. Clearly, he wants to go for maybe a third base, maybe a cheeky little 3 o'clock position here. The Watchdog is going to scout down here and figure things out. No problems there.
Just siege this up and start getting those shots. Yeah, that's going to push those back easily. He'll have mega range from that high ground.
Well, there's also this stuff that was camped up here to fight, a little bit of a backstab. I like the positioning here, but the Cyprian count is really quite high, and he's kiting backwards so that the Phalanx can shell the Dracodons on this side. Now he can fall back a little bit. That treasury, it might end up getting focused down, but if it does, it's going to be at the cost of all of the other Dracodons. A bunch more going through. There's only the one Phalanx. It looks like the treasury will finally fall, but the Ministry is almost complete, so it can be replaced out. The liftoff not nearly fast enough. 4 Mavericks and that Anchor, they really could be replaced with 2 Cyprians, man. That would have been contributing to most of that fight, I feel like.
Even if he floated it down to the bottom of the ramp, possibly. Look, the Cyprians, as you can see, they can fight the Dracodons, but you need a lot of them, and you don't have the numbers. And now this tank...
No. He's got nothing to heal. He's trying to heal it with the Clerics, but it only gets a couple shots off, and that's not enough. The second one just finished. But it really, if he had 2 Phalanxes at the top of this ramp, man, this push would start to be over very fast. And General Anakin's caught up in workers now. Even though his macro back home isn't great, the Envoy is going to slip on through. Ministry does end up getting landed there. I'm not sure that the structure was spotted by the Envoy.
Okay, you got to try something in the desperate situation. So floating it out, honestly, I like it, but here we go. This is going to be a slaughter. Whoa,
what's the reaction? He does see it. Oh, he's barely going to be able to pull away. Only a couple of Masons will end up dying as a result.
Yeah, this is still kind of brutal, though, because you just can't mine for a while.
I know, yeah. And he still is going to end up losing 2, 3, 4, 5.
He's going in for round 2.
Yep. Yeah, he can definitely afford to do it. Oh, well, there's only 7 of them on that right now, but that's still scary.
No.
Scrambling around. He's got the 2 Phalanxes. I feel like his SimCity failing him. He's got a stockade over here, blocking all the units that would want a path over here. Looks like he did get a cancel off. I'm not 100% sure on that, but another storm. I'm not even sure where the Cantavis got away. So it scooped himself up. When it unloads, we'll be able to click on it and see.
He's sending these Phalanx onto the low ground. If he loses them both, I think this game's over, dude. Even if it doesn't end immediately, he won't be able to ever get out of here.
Well, the Witness has kept pretty good eyes on this situation, but General Anakin doesn't always watch his minimap, so seems to have been a little bit surprised. Only one Amaranth here. It is going to get on the cliff there, and okay, the Phalanxes are targeting onto the Dracodon, so he didn't splash his own bio to death. But that might be everything.
Amaranth was going to live.
I know,
he's going to lose these. And now what? How is he ever going to get out of here, right?
Well, he's actually a lot of these are really wounded, so he could fight with the Mavericks and the Masons if he pulled those. Another Phalanx is about to finish, so I think he'll be okay initially, but I mean, there's still 3 more and another Amaranth. The Mavericks and the Anchor will finally come into fruition. He should repair this with his Masons. He's totally forgotten about repair.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be broken. The one Amaranth down there is just taking hits right now. GG.
GG is going to be called, and General Anakin takes the first game. TopRamen, I don't know, man. I don't know if the moment's coming to him now or what, but he was not able to riposte that attack. It felt like everything that was set up to maybe give him another chance to extend the play didn't work out. He loses the first Phalanx, then he loses a bunch of time spinning around his base because of the SimCity. Obviously, the Storm Drop as well are going to reduce his ability to scale up into the next part of the match, assuming he does break the contain. And then obviously it just goes from bad to worse there. So,
well, I think he just did not respect those Dracodons enough. Many times he went down the ramp and lost all units when he really shouldn't have been trying to fight them at all. You gotta realize the Dracodons are really, really powerful against Bio.
Absolutely the case. We're just gonna wait on TopRamen's pick for map number 2. Of course, this being a best of 5, there's plenty of time for him to get back into it. He selects Germination. I think this might be the first time that we're actually seeing this one, Neblime. I feel like, I don't know if we've seen. I mean, it's been played in the Gauntlet. Oh no, that's not true. Newt versus 3-Crow in Gauntlet A they played. I was wondering if in a casted set we had seen it. But,
what happened to the Newt versus 3-Crow game?
Newt 3-0'd him, if you remember. So that was just that was like the Wraith spam game.
Oh yes, that's right. Yes, I do remember.
See, my memory's intact somehow. All right, Germination coming up.
Old man.
Match number 2. And we do have General Anakin in the top left, TopRamen, bottom right, bottom ramen, in fact, and now down a match.
Well, maybe he's bottom ramen after this. Look, I can say it now. I thought it was going to be 3-0 TopRamen for sure. So I'm excited that Anakin got the first game pretty convincingly, wasn't ever in trouble. Even if his attack was repulsed, he was still in a pretty good position.
Yes.
So maybe Ramen's not as good as I thought he was. I don't know. He's got to prove himself now.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe versus Protoss is just his issue, right? That's what Newt was saying about Hamster, and you were saying that Newt was your kryptonite, and you were dismantling Hamster.
That's
so
right. That's
the
right.
Holy
The
Trinity.
triangle. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, we'll have to see where these
well,
goes.
we haven't seen Newt suffer against Protoss though. He's done pretty well for himself. But hey,
I think
Newt
so
and
too.
Can't really compare.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's been bamboozling, Hepsea, and Hamster's actually been out trying to. Funnily, we established this earlier today. Actually, he said that he was trying to beat a mission that coincidentally I worked on for another person's project, and so in a way he was still playing my content, just in a 6 degrees of Schaefer kind of way. And he's like, I must defeat this mission, and then he gave up and decided to play Hepsea instead. So.
Didn't beat Hepsea at least.
I think so, but I don't know all the scores. They played a lot of matches. He played against Ecalypso as well, but I haven't gotten any replays, so I don't know. Anyway, bottom line is he's got lots of PvP matches, right? But that's about it.
On that little cliff below the gateway, can a Legionnaire fit and get stuck?
I hope so. I hope we see this. I mean, you can just attack your own Legionnaire and teleport him out after, but if it's not a Legionnaire, I guess we'll find out. Actually, I don't really think so. I'm gonna say no. I feel like there's not enough space there. Maybe an Eidolon could.
Yeah.
Map Imba.
Smallest unit, huh?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, they are the smallest unit. The Zethracore is also pretty small, but not as small as the Eidolon.
I mean, I assume you kept the relative sizes from Brood War for those ones.
Yeah, I didn't change any maps, any sizes for anything like that. Now, the Vulture is indeed out, and it was a Fulcrum first.
Yeah.
Fulcrum into Quarry, so a little bit of a slower Quarry because of the gas, but he gets Vultures out. He'll be able to compete versus Dracodons, which are indeed going to be the start, and he can kind of tell this because of the gas harvesting. 2 harvesters on gas, that's enough for 2-gate Dracodon production. Vulture should be able to catch the Scribe. It is being microed forward, but a little bit of a misfire on that one, so it'll take an extra hit, but that probably won't slow him down too much. He did keep one mine, so he will be able to maybe use that offensively if he wants to. Doesn't want to.
I don't think the play really is ever to put the mines over here unless you're doing something hardcore like double Fulcrum Vulture or something.
Yeah, there was that whole conversation where, if you remember, Newt was saying that it would be possible to mine the workers, and that slow would like be.
Yeah, but then you'd lose the Vultures.
Yes,
like, okay, I traded 100 minerals for what?
Right. Yeah, you'd have to do the math to figure out how many it was. Yeah, so.
Yeah,
I do think.
It's not. I don't think. Sorry, you go.
No, I looking at this complexion of the game. I mean, there's a Goliath coming, so it's not really the same thing. But because we have a fast prostration stage of all things, and
3-minute prostration stage.
Yeah, very limited on the gateway in terms of the like production, the unit production. TopRamen, if he attacks right now, he could actually do a lot of damage and just like run rush out.
Anakin's base layout is atrocious, by the way.
Well, if he ever needs to get down to this location, enjoy going all the way over there.
Game's over. Like, yeah.
He can't even. I guess he can escape with the Scribes. That's about it, though. I think he can fit through.
What will be the unit of choice in the prostration stage? I mean, you know, there are many units it makes, but at the end of the day, how many actual choices are there, right?
So there's the Pariah as the primary option that you would probably
that's what I'm thinking.
But
would you actually make any of the others in this situation? I don't think you would.
Well, if it's mech, you can go Mind Tyrant and steal the mech. So, like, before they hit a critical mass, they can't just right-click your Tyrant.
Steal a Goliath? I mean, that ain't doing that much for you. Consider how much a Mind Tyrant costs.
I mean, yeah, it's a more vulnerable situation, but, I mean, he's making the embassy. This could be a drop. And if that's the case, I would go Pariah. However, if he just
Mind
wants
Tyrant
to...
drop, steal a Mason?
Okay, now we're talking. Now, here's the other thing, though. If you wanted to get freaky with it, I don't think GeneralAnakin's going to do this, but he could go Potentates and just use their high single-target ranged attack to just dismantle Goliaths. Because that's something I thought about for a while, is that Protoss don't use some of the more, like, recent additions to their roster that much. The Potentate might have been one of the last units to be added to the game. So, like, for the Protoss race specifically. And so I feel like people have probably kind of let it go by the wayside. And that's not to say that maybe they're not correct in doing that, but I do think you could probably get a couple of those and just, like, 2 of them would probably... Maybe 3 of them would be required to 2-tap a Cleric or something, to one-shot a Cleric. You might need 3.
Well, it seems to me that Potentates are very expensive and not that long range, so unless you have a lot of other stuff to frontline for them, they're not really going to do very well.
Yeah, but there's no crowd control with this composition, so TopRamen would struggle versus Mass Legionnaire. But he is going to go for Goliath Cleric, and there is going to be a Mind Tyrant.
Weakness of Goliaths, right? Yeah, I mean, I think this front line's pretty adequate against what Ramen's bringing so far, and Ramen not sending a scouting turret or anything like that. No. So he doesn't really know anything about what's going on, and we can see how critical that is with this fast tech. You really want to know that that's what's going on.
Yeah, he didn't even confirm that there was a... Oh, maybe he did narrowly scout this with the autopath, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure he didn't confirm that there was a natural or not. I mean, the units positioned over here kind of make you feel like there's no natural. So he's just going to see about macroing
This
up.
is crazy.
I'm not sure. He's not going for the envoy. He went for a witness instead. He likes his witness in the enemy mineral line or enemy rally point.
Okay. I guess, like you say, he's just going to steal the Goliaths or whatever else is in the army.
Yeah, I mean, you can just... The problem is, like, if you have enough of them, you can right-click the Mind Tyrant, and it does go down a lot faster than you initially think, right? 150 shields is not that much, so... Has to be very careful.
Well, at least
it's a
it doesn't have
VIP.
the brutal mechanic where its shields are going to go away.
Yeah, that's so weird. I don't know why that happened. I feel like they were so careful about the mind control, thinking it would be really OP, and then they made it, like, basically...
Oh, yeah, they made it
unusable.
so bad, yeah. Look, I think it's because the Dark Archon in Brood War is pretty tanky, and they didn't want to feel so frustrating when, like, your battle cruiser got mind control and you can't even kill the Dark Archon.
Right, I guess because the Dark Archon by default doesn't have any link to it, right? So it's not like you get the unit back. Well, this mine could be pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah, if he gets all the Legionnaires, he could just crush those and he'd be a really good spot here. And the Mind Tyrant is so
Get out of my face, trees! Biddy Bee, why'd you put all these trees everywhere? Those don't even have collisions, so I'm not really sure
what if he gets the Mind Tyrant with it? And he can just kill instantly.
It's firing off the shots. Couple Goliaths being stolen. Look.
Oh, that's actually sick. Okay. Okay, never mind. I guess the Mind Tyrant's
he controlled a cleric and it stunned all of his clerics. Well, okay, hold on. Hold the phone here because he really needs to be focusing down this Mind Tyrant, but I think he's just been totally bamboozled and using the mines against him. This might have just been a very quick 2-0 start for General-Anakin. Let's see what happens, what the rest of it's going to be like. But yeah, the Mind Tyrant is untouched. Dude. Yeah.
I'm like, nah, you'd never make a Mind Tyrant. Then General-Anakin's like, you wouldn't what? You wouldn't what, Neblime? Holy crap.
My God.
Crushed him.
At 3-minute prostration stage. Dude, I guarantee you that 3 Crow is smiling upon us right now. The tech rush. The tech rush has worked, and it's put General-Anakin on series point.
Is he going to qualify, dude? This is serious. He had one more game and he's in. General-Anakin, who came out of nowhere, is about to qualify into battlements. Oh my God.
Absolutely insane. Cannot believe it. We're waiting for map 3 selected by TopRamen. He's got to complete the reverse sweep. He's got to psych himself up like, oh man, this guy's doing shit I've never even seen before. Using units I haven't even seen before.
Yeah.
And that's the okay, hold on. That's why the witness was so important in that. Because if the witness isn't there to spot everything, your Mind Tyrant ain't gonna see anything. You gotta scout it and trip the mine and reveal the strategy. Like, it was all set up because the Mind Tyrant doesn't have the best vision. It doesn't have the best cast range, right? Like, you do need to get within, eye shot of the unit for pretty much, unless you have a witness. Unless you're gonna go ahead and use that.
Anakin just getting the better of engagements, right? He's got great micro and he's showing it here. He had a good tactic and he executed it well. What was I gonna say?
Something about Mind Tyrants and...
Probably.
Maybe the maps.
Oh, it's about Goliaths. This is what I keep saying about Goliaths. You can't go straight into Goliaths when you do everything else. They're just not good unless they're in large scale and or you have something to back them up, right?
Yeah.
This is the problem. You only had a few and you mind controlled 1 or 2 of them. That's like a good chunk of your army.
Yes. Yeah. And he only had 1 fulcrum, right? That's another thing is he had 1 fulcrum and 1 stockade, producing 1 Goliath at a time, 1 cleric at a time. That can be good.
Yeah, imagine he's back behind an anchor in the natural, right? Maybe he's a bit better off, definitely.
Yeah. It'll be impetus.
Germination tempts you out to hold that ramp.
Yeah. And impetus is a little bit harder to hold the ramp, so General-Anakin should be feeling pretty confident here.
You know what? When I think about it, maybe that was General-Anakin's concept there. He's thinking, okay, it's germination. He's not going to be back in his natural vernacular. He will come out, and that's why he went for the prostration stage. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, kind of like if Sideshow... Because again, we've talked about germination, how if the quadrant for the main natural third was Sideshow, but more condensed, right? Like the same kind of main natural third that you have on Sideshow, but it was more available in that sense. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. But for sure, it was a bold move to go for the prostration stage. He's been cooking that strategy. I guarantee you he must have absolutely antagonized the Beaver with that strategy before. You know, one of the things I was thinking about that would have been kind of sick, but is looking less possible now unless TopRamen can reclaim some momentum in the series. I was thinking that if the Beaver, falls down to the lower bracket as he has in a 3-1 defeat, or I guess 1-3 against Taco Cake earlier, and he makes it past, Benno or Inozlix, whoever he has to face, and then we've got, General-Anakin falling down and making it past Moonhunter, and then they unite. It's like the childhood group, like
Yeah.
Those two childhood friends having to fight to qualify for the 3rd place. But I think he might just be walking right past her right now, man.
Well, this is like when you made me and Biddy Bee fight. You know? Not that we know each other in real life, but still.
Right. Hey, we've got TopRamen in the top right, which is TR. GeneralAnakin in the bottom left, which is not GA, but you know.
It's a good omen, man. I believe.
Hold on.
It's on Terran's side.
3 gas harvesters, 2 mineral harvesters. One of the first 6 Masons left the building already. TopRamen backs against the wall. He's been thinking about a cheese.
He's mining too much gas, though. Like, I don't know. Unless he's going to make a star pack.
Oh, no. This is I think this might be a fulcrum. I mean, he's got the 50 gas. Yeah, he's peeled off. It's proxy fulcrum vulture. I almost certainly can guarantee you at this point, judging by
what else would you make when you proxy it, right? I don't think Cyclops would really do the job.
If they can get in fast enough. I mean, remember, he's going to get his fulcrum started on his opponent's side of the map before the gateway starts. So
yeah, that is pretty spicy. But that's the thing. A Cyclops is not as good at killing the pylon either. And the best thing to do is just take out the pylons and Protoss loses instantly pretty much.
Yeah. So he's going to have to bank at least 100 minerals for the next, 30 seconds, I think. Around 30 seconds from now, he'll have this vulture started.
I believe that you can get up to at least 9 workers here and still afford it immediately.
Yep. He's getting his 10th.
I've done this before, believe it or not.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, he might even have a 10th queued up at this point. Or he has a 10th queued up now, but I'm not...
You can get another one, yeah.
I'm not factoring in this guy, so...
Oh, you know what? It does depend as well how early you build the fulcrum.
Yeah. Impetus is not a very small map, so this is very interesting. And this is kind of what we see. Okay, 2 gate, second gate before the first finishes, and the first gate was also late. So this is kind of what I'm saying. Like, I don't know that TopRamen has been, I don't know if he took a time. He took a little bit before he picked this map. He might have been like, oh, let me just go ahead and watch that replay. Let me see what's going on here. You know, because, you can fast forward through it and stuff. You don't need to spend the whole time.
That's why he said, give me a minute. Well, hang on. He was in the lobby, though.
GeneralAnakin said, give me a minute. So that wasn't
okay.
Yeah. TopRamen, though, I feel like, man, he's got some plan over here. Drakiden starts, but the Vulture finishes as the Drakiden was starting, and the Mason's coming on in.
Here, man. Yeah. I don't see how else he can pull this off. Otherwise, the Drakiden's going to be ready in time. I don't see how you're going to take that down unless it's stunned.
He should ignore the scribe. It's blocking him. It's body blocking him. The rush is going to be delayed. He's got an anchor on the low ground. That's a very important start. He needs to go ahead and plant some mines.
Just in time. My God. He needs to lay another one. He can't wait. Or maybe I guess he can. You can replant it when it comes out. But he can come out on the other side, right? This ain't Brood War. Can choose where units come out, and he's going to take out that Vulture. If he loses that Vulture now, the game is all but over. He needs to get every bit of value he can out of this.
Yep.
He's still trying to hit these scribes, but they do regenerate the shields. You can't be taking more shots. Okay, he gets out of there.
Well, the anchor is nearly complete. It's completed. It can float up there, but he needs to get the Vulture out. It's too late. It's dead. But he's got 2 more.
Okay. That could be huge, especially if he can lay mines in defense of it. It might be impossible for us to do anything about it. He's running past. He has that mine still near the gateway.
Anchor's about to scoop him up. It scooped him up. And he wants to keep this mine up.
Land!
He's not getting in. Oh, it's being blocked. GeneralAnakin with the plays. He unloads it.
There we go. He unloads.
Okay, he can get the land down.
Land it.
Okay, he's got the land. He's got the land. Scooped in.
Okay,
where are the follow-up vultures? He's got 1 more vulture. Oh, no. It's not even targeting the Drakidens.
Honestly, that's probably for the best, because I'm not sure it would kill one. Just 1 vulture. It's going to take a few scribes. All right.
Another vulture coming in from the top rope, but it really doesn't have anything. The mine count.
At this point, you've got to worry about defense. I don't think you can continue the attack. His worker count is fine. So as long as he can defend at home, which is an open question, he is okay here.
I'm losing track of the vultures myself, man. He's done a little bit of scratch damage to these scribes, but he is attacking like multiple ones at the same time.
He needs to send vultures home and put mine to defend. Because his stockades not going to be ready in time. We saw how that matchup goes before.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Well, he tried to get the... Okay. Well, the Fulcrum can stay alive and just make vultures, unless GeneralAnakin finds it. If he finds it, then he's moving on. He's attacking with all his Drakidens, right? And then he's not attacking it back at home. So I think it's totally fine to keep the Fulcrum back up.
Were a bit of an overextension.
Yes.
Well, a lot of an overextension. He needs to send those back. If you have like 4 mines around the ramp, a couple of vultures and the Mavericks coming out, it'd be okay. But as it stands, I don't see how this game is not going to end as soon as the Drakidens get to his base.
Warden started as well. The Mason's going to go ahead and investigate, see what the follow-up is. We'll see that there is a Warden protecting the mineral line here. We've got 2 more Drakidens about to pop out, and there's already 6 on the way. We've got double anchor, but only 2 Mavericks. Screwed. That can just be run by.
Hell. He's building it.
That can be run by. He needs to garrison these immediately. The Drakidens are already here.
Get in.
Needed to put a save face on. He's going to go ahead and try to repair that anchor, but there's 6 Drakidens here, and the 2 vultures indeed, I think they were the biggest deal. They come back in, but only one of them is still alive. It's just going to get popped, and I think GeneralAnakin has just made it into battlements.
With a 3-0, crushes Ramen to secure his spot. GG.
Crazy.
GG's.
Crazy.
There it is. Wow. All right, well, never mind what I was saying about Anakin. He did not stay in his base at all. Slapped him.
I can't believe that's how. I'm still taking a moment to process. Taking a moment. The 3-0. It comes out, but not for the player we thought. General Anakin.
Man.
The man.
I mean, he had a strong result in Gauntlet A, even though he didn't make it. So
yes,
it's not super surprising.
He was 2 games away from making it, if you think of it. 3-1 versus 3 Crow. So could have done it then. Decides to do it now in the upper bracket.
Did a great job taking on a formidable opponent.
Yeah,
really well done.
Wow. Well, in our match thread, he just wrote, "I need new pants" after that last one. he definitely had him scrambling, but I do. I don't know. TopRamen feels like he plays a better game so far. Anyway, he definitely was more comfortable versus Benno, and then going up against General Anakin, I don't know if he just wasn't feeling it today or what, but something was off. It wasn't the normal TopRamen that we see.
I guess he's weak to the early pressure, man. Probably all it comes down to is that Benno, it gives you a lot of time usually.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that means that we've got another Protoss in the books. That will be General Anakin making it to battlements. We have 1 slot remaining. Is it going to be the Beaver, Benno, and Nozlix, TopRamen, Moonhunter? Those are the 5 names in contention. I know I'd favor TopRamen even after his showing today, but you know what? If it's TVT and he's got to get it past the cheesy, aggressive Moonhunter and then get past the Beaver or whoever ends up going through that bracket, could be Benno as well, another Protoss for him to deal with.
Yeah, man. Benno versus TopRamen, lower qual, let's go.
That's what Neblime's hoping for. I am hoping for good games no matter what, man. I definitely feel like there's still play to be had. We got to really scramble to get these last couple of matches finished so that we can actually have a final player for battlements, but we are very, very close to finalizing our roster. And for the first time ever, battlements will actually be taken across 2 days. It'll be Saturday and Sunday, so that'll give us a little bit more breathing room because we can just wait for that.
100% sure that we're going to be ready to go ahead with it on those days?
Yeah. The first day is already going to be booked after this, and I'll figure out availability for everybody else. So, GG's, and Neblime, thank you for joining me for this momentous occasion where General Anakin makes it in.
No worries.